Hello everyone, my name is Shella Evangelista.
And I am Ian Japet Pina.
And I am Joram Iburan.
I am Jason Rada.
Earl Javier.
And I am Trisha Jane Javier.
Do you guys have an idea who is Dr. Jose Rizal?
He is the national hero of the Philippines.
And he wrote No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo.
Well, that's correct. That is the basic information we know about Dr. Jose Rizal. And for us to gain more knowledge and information about him, let's talk about him and the life and martyrdom of Dr. Jose Rizal. The life and martyrdom of Dr. Jose Rizal.
Jose Rizal, in full Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda. He was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Philippines. He died on December 30, 1896. He died in Manila due to he was executed by the Spanish colonial government for the crime of rebellion after the Philippine Revolution broke out. So, it was inspired by his writings, no? Though he was not actively involved in its planning or conduct. He ultimately approved of its goal, which eventually resulted in Philippine independence.
His mother was Teodora Leolonda y Quintos, a wealthy woman in the Spanish colonial Philippines. His father is Francisco Rizal Mercado, was able to raise family that was financially comfortable. He was a tenant of the Dominican estate in Calamba, Laguna, and through hard work, he had increased his rented landholding. He was respected by the townspeople that he became cabeza de barangay of Calamba.
Jose Rizal was the seventh child of Francisco and Teodora. They are 11 siblings. Saturnina is the eldest. Next is Pasiano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Jose, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad being the youngest among them.
Now, let's talk about the educational background of Dr. Jose Rizal. He first studied in Ateneo in 1872. After graduating, he continued his education at University of Santo Tomas in 1877. He did his postgraduate work at the University of Madrid in 1882. For the next 5 years, he wandered through Europe discussing politics wherever he went.
In 1887, Dr. Jose Rizal published his first novel, which is the No Limitangere, which means Touch Me Not and the Social Cancer. It is all about the late 19th century treatment of the local peoples by the reigning government and the Spanish Catholic friars is examined in terms of alleged injustice in law and practice. While in 1891, a sequel based on the first novel was published, which is the El Filibusterismo, which means the reign of greed. It is the continuation of the story of Ibarra, whom everyone thought to be already dead, returning to San Diego after 13 long years as a rich jeweler named Simon, who intends to start a revolution against the government.
La Solidaridad, or the Solidarity in English, is an organization created in Spain on December 13, 1888. So, La Solidaridad issued a newspaper of the same name, which was published in Barcelona, Spain on February 15, 1889. It was edited by Graciano Lopez Haena and later on by Marcelo H. del Pilar. So, the social, cultural, and economic conditions of the colonial Philippines were published in La Solidaridad. Then, speeches of the Spanish liberals about the Philippines were also featured in the newspaper. As you can see in the picture, Jose Rizal can be seen on the right side, along with Marcelo H. del Pilar and Mariano Ponce, who were the founders of the propaganda movement.
Rizal returned to the Philippines in 1892. From then, he formed a civic movement called La Liga Filipina in Manila. Due to his involvement in the early rebellion actions, he was deported to Dapitan in northwest Mindanao in July 1892 and spent the next 4 years there. By then, a secret organization of Filipino nationalists called the Katipunan revolt against the Spain in 1896. Rizal was confined in Fort Santiago. He was detained and put to trial for his rebellion by the military despite the the fact that he had no ties with the group and had not participated in the uprising. In the eve of his execution, Rizal wrote Ultimo Adios, often known as Last Farewell, a masterpiece of the 19th century Spanish verse. It was hidden in the alcohol stove, which was later handed to his family with his few remaining possessions, including the final letters and his last bequest.
Now, let us meet Josephine Bracken, a special woman in the life of Oscar Rizal. She is an Irish woman from Hong Kong. Bracken and Rizal met in February 1895. She came to the Pitan to seek Rizal for the eye treatment of his adoptive father. After frequent visits, Rizal and Bracken fell in love. It was reported that they got married shortly before the execution of Rizal in Talisay in the Pitan, and that they had a child, which was named after Rizal's father, Francisco. She was also immortalized by Rizal in the last stanza of Mi Ultimo Adios, "Farewell, street stranger, my friend, my joy."
Jose Rizal was a lot of many things: a doctor, an educator, a traveler, poet, writer, polymath, polyglot, but he was the first and foremost a patriot who loved his country so much that he was willing to sacrifice even his own life. Even at an early age, Rizal already knew the importance of education, writing a poem about it when he was a teenager. In fact, in one of his letters to his friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, an Austrian scholar and educator, Rizal said that the reason for the backwardness and ignorance of the people is the lack of education. Other consulate general in the US also commemorated the martyrdom of Rizal, like the Philippine Consulate General in New York, which partnered with the Knights of Rizal New York chapter, joining Consul General Claro Cristobal, was Court of Appeals Associate Justice and Knight of Rizal Supreme Commander Elihu Ibanez, who noted that it was the heroism of Rizal in the face of that inspired many, and that what is really significant and is not how Rizal died but how he lived.
Dr. Rizal's martyrdom sparked the revolution in the country against the Spanish government, which ruled Las Islas Filipinas, also known now as the Philippines, from 1565 to 1898. The works and life of Rizal may have ended his life, but it began a new life for the Filipino nation. The advancement of youth is crucial to our society. Dr. Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, once said that ang kabataan ang siyang pag-asa ng bayan. It emphasized the youths that is our future of our nation.
Mega
Mega
thanks!
thanks!
1,000
1,000
points
points
for you, Sir Ignaw.